counting rests. It's amazing how many times that can really screw you up. You certainly like Charlie Parker. I know I said I wasn't going to vlog this week, but I've missed you all so much. I'm going to get disturbed in a minute anyway, and I have to do a far more important job. Oh, it's so crazy busy, but I wanted to just talk about the fact I went to Ronnie's on Monday night. And heard Joshua Redman. It was great to be introduced to Ruben Rogers, who I use a lot of the loop loft. I'll link below. The music you heard at the start of today's vlog was Ruben playing bass and me just kind of jamming over the top. Really useful tools to use for practice and teaching, so it was great talking to it, and it was great finding out that the model there is working for musicians as well, so it was pretty cool. Really, really good to hear Josh. Obviously I didn't film it, unlike the guy next to me who basically had his phone recording most of the gig. I frown upon that a lot these days. I don't think it's cool. It's not nice. If you've been asked not to record it, you shouldn't record it. It's not fair, especially in these days when these things can move around so much. I need to build some Lego, and then I've just had a phone call with the BBC music producer. I managed to get just a closer walk with Dee, which we recorded on Jazz Vespers, and it is 12 minutes long.
Closer walk with thee.
I managed to reduce it to 4 minutes in rehearsal on Sunday by making some drastic cuts. I've now been told I've got to make even more drastic cuts to it. How on earth it'll sound? Of course on TV it will probably sound fine, because, you know, if you think about TV programs and music, it will probably last as long as they go for, but I'm worried live it's going to sound really, really crap. But we'll see. I'm going to work on it, but I'm going to build some Lego first. And then I've got a piece, which is what I thought I'd talk about in today's vlog. Well, I've got to play these horn parts for this, okay? And I got the music yesterday. I've got one camera rehearsal, and I've got to play it, and there are a lot of semiquavers, should we say, in this piece, and I've got to play this directly in sync with the trumpet player, with one rehearsal Sunday morning after I've done all my own rehearsals. So in other words, I've got to make sure I get it right, and I'll go through with you in a minute how I go about doing that. I've got this weird problem with this camera I'm talking to you on now. It will only take one SD card. All the other SD cards it fails to read. So it reads this one but no others, which is a little bit worrying. Yeah. Yeah, you've done it right, and that goes through the yellow bit there. publishing this video I made for about the homeless in London that I made with Keena. You might have seen it in this vlog. I am donating any AdSense this stands over. I'm donating any AdSense this makes directly to West London Mission, who Keena raised over £1,000 for. Now obviously this is only the way I go about doing it, and you'll notice that as I bring in some of the score here, I do try and, you know, this was a big revelation for me when I started my teaching career, is that people make the same mistakes over and over again. You know, there can be vastly different people, you know, now when I'm teaching in different continents, and still make the same mistakes when it comes to counting music. You know, they're almost universal human mistakes, partly brought about by the way we're taught music, which is still quite uniformed. Counting rests, it's amazing how many times that can really screw you up, and screw you up in a professional situation as much as it can in an amateur situation. So I make sure I'm labelling out rests. Sometimes if there's a difficult rhythm in a bar, I split it up into lines, just so I can read each beat one bit at a time, and I'll practice that beat. What I really want for this is a recording, and I don't have one. I still process things far better orally, but as far as the way I practice it, I use a drum beat now rather than a metronome. I could use a metronome. And I'll do the same way I was teaching my students earlier today when they were looking at their Christmas project, which is we basically just break it down. And if it's too difficult to read the rhythm, take the rhythm and double the length of the note, you know, extract it out. So where you've got semiquavers, or 16th notes for Americans, where you've got kind of 16th notes turn into 8th notes, semiquavers into quavers, crotchets go into minims, all that kind of thing, and just write it out. And it plays a trick on your brain, I think. I think there's a really good way of doing it, is that it makes your brain think that it's simple, because the first notes you ever learn on an instrument, or when you're learning to read music, are crotchets and quavers, you know, minims, and so that's 8th notes, quarter notes and half notes for our cousins across the pond. And therefore when you see that, it looks easier, and therefore you can process the rhythm better, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I must head upstairs. I haven't seen the children really since they got home. I need to process this email, have a quick look through how things are possibly going to work out for this recording, and then carry on. But I will see you again in a minute. That's how I go about approaching sort of sight reading horn parts, especially when I haven't got a lot of time to learn them. Gonna break them down, metronome, use a drum beat if I can, and get the pencil out on them. The beauty is, on Sunday I'm actually able to read that. Sometimes when you're playing horn parts, especially TV style, you're not allowed to read the horn parts, you've got to memorise them, which normally means you get a recording. The MD hasn't got back to me in the recording, so I'm just going to have to go with what I've got. There's a couple of iffy rhythms there. What I'll try and do on Sunday morning during the band call, during the rehearsal, is I'll record it on my phone, me and the trumpet player. I'll make sure we're together, and if necessary I'll do the old big band trick, which is I'll take him as the leader, and even if he's wrong, as long as we're playing together, most people won't notice. Obviously we'll aim to get it right, absolutely spot on, but he's louder than I am, and I want to make sure that we phrase everything together. So thank you very much for watching the vlog. Please give us a thumbs up. We get enough thumbs down sometimes, so it'd be nice to have lots and lots of likes on the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I can't believe I'm in the jumper already, although it does feel quite warm in here. The mouse is still sort of hanging around. It certainly likes the Charlie Parker. I don't know what we're going to do with that before tomorrow, but thank you for watching. I will see you on Sunday.